What's hard about dating you?
Wingardium Leviosa.
Sometimes I need extended periods alone.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I once knew this dude. One day, out of nowhere, I just asked him how it's been going with his girlfriend. He smiled a bit, and then with a very confident sort of energy, told me that he just decided to have some distance with her for a while. Told me that doing that is helping him stabilize, being calm and cheerful. I was happy for him. Out of nowhere, and for the sake of just continuing the conversation, I asked him, "How long has it been since you guys have talked?" His answer, and I'm not lying, was 10 months. I had so many follow-up questions, but I just ended up with "Let's have some Coca-Cola."
Wingardium Leviosa.
Dude, same. My poor husband. I just wanna be next to him all the time, no matter what we are doing. I want to hear every thought of his as it happens. I want to wear his shirt while he's wearing his shirt, smiley face. I just want him. He doesn't hate it, but he also doesn't love it, so I guess a win is a win.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I am blind, and most guys are not used to being a service animal in human form. It's not every day that one has to verbally describe everything to their date and put their hand on stuff. The other thing is my ultra-conservative/religious, and narcissistic Asian parents.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I create delusional scenarios in my mind.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I'm not a very deep person, and most women I speak to have bachelors and masters, and I failed community college. I have a great paying job since I learned a trade, but when it comes to having meaningful or deep conversations, I have nothing to offer, and they seem to pick up on that and become disinterested. I don't blame them, nor am I angry about it. I'm not one of those who blame other people for my problems. I work very hard to improve myself, but it's hard.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I don't talk when I'm angry. I always need some time before I can open up what's my problem.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I think as long as you say something like, "Can we discuss this in an hour," or any X amount of time, then it should hopefully be fine. Smile. I think where a lot of people make the mistake is saying they don't want to talk about it right now, but never suggesting when they will want to talk about it. If my partner is mad and doesn't want to talk, like, okay fine, but I don't want to have to keep bugging him to talk when I have no idea when he will be ready to.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I'm terrible at opening up and communicating about my needs.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Same. I wasn't allowed to have needs for a large portion of my life, so now it's almost impossible to communicate them.
Wingardium Leviosa.
How have you guys been working on fixing this? I feel like I'm in the same boat.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I had to realize that the people in my life that care about me most want me to be happy. Pretending not to have needs doesn't make those needs go away and can create a lot of resentment, which I didn't want in my relationships. I had to decide that my needs were worth being met, and give the other person a chance to meet them by speaking up. It takes a lot of practice, because you first have to figure out what it is that you want, and then figure out how to verbalize it in a way that makes sense, then offer a practical solution to get it. But the people that are worth it have been happy to meet those needs, and my life has become better for it. This also helps you create stronger and healthier boundaries. Many people are fixated on caring about themselves. You should at least make sure you are honoring you. And yes, therapy can help tremendously.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I self-sabotage as a result of past relationships and insecurity in believing I'm not good enough for my partner, and undeserving of healthy, gentle love. I often find myself thinking I should break things off before I ruin it, before I get hurt, or before they break it off with me. Very avoidant. However, I am working really hard on this, and it hasn't affected my current relationship so far. I've been to lots of therapy over the years, and I frequently journal. I try to catch my anxious thoughts before they develop.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I struggle with vocalizing if something annoys me. I usually just ignore the problem until I can't anymore. I am a real bad people pleaser and I think their needs are always more important than mine. A fight seems like the end of the world to me and my nervous system. Also, I am on the asexual spectrum and not everyone can handle it. I do have sex but maybe not as frequently as some people, and I have lots of sensory issues with smell, taste and touch.
Wingardium Leviosa.
That's kinda sweet, actually. I've never dated a girl who was clingy. I'd like to find out what it's like. Edit okay, I consider myself educated now. Thanks for helping me understand it.
Wingardium Leviosa.
It's not as great as it sounds, tbh. You don't get any me time or time with friends without upsetting her, and sometimes it's just too much.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Men romanticize clinginess in women. As a formerly clingy woman, I've now gone the opposite route and I'm so afraid of coming off as clingy, because I know how overwhelming I can be after the honeymoon phase wears off. Maybe someday I'll find someone I can be clingy with, lol.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Dealing with my low self-esteem.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Same here too. I never think I am good enough. And then, I somehow screw it up because I go too far with overcompensating.
Wingardium Leviosa.
What do you mean by going too far with overcompensating?
Wingardium Leviosa.
Insecurity inside my head, oh god. Oh fuck. I am not good enough for XYZ, they are so much hotter / smarter / better / whatever than me. If they ever figure out that I'm useless, they're gonna break up with me. Them, I have a problem. Me, I got this. Don't you worry. I am going to fix this problem you have. You don't have to break a sweat. You just sit here while I make myself useful for once, ha ha ha, frantically sweats over trying to figure out what exactly the problem even is that I just agreed to fix. Thankfully, I don't do this anymore. But I was insecure AF in my youths.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I got broken up with because I was drastically unbothered by a change of plans. For context, we had a vacay planned for the beach that got ruined due to a hurricane, so we spent the week in the mountains instead. I didn't care one bit, but when I didn't share the same resentment for the altered plans, that was too much for her. I'm definitely a go with the flow type of person and not much bothers me when it comes to that.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I am told I can't accept someone's own different way of love. That I only know and understand one way, and not appreciate or acknowledge other ways.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I feel like that's fairly common, to be honest. Most people have a preferred way of giving and receiving affection and love, and that's what they want. I'm somewhat like that as well. In fact, people that prefer giving things, gifts and such, to their loved ones completely rub me the wrong way. It makes me angry. I grew up starved for affection and compassion. The only way my parents ever showed any form of caring was to buy me things. It made me resent it. I wanted words and hugs and empathy and sympathy. I didn't want things. That being said, I do know there are many ways to show love to others, and I try to accept that. I'm not always successful, but I try. I want to give you a hug so badly right now.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I get on my own nerves. I can't imagine I would not bother a partner, lol, but really I can be moody, especially if I am stressed or overstimulated.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Same with the own nerves part. The thing is, I know I'm boring. Midway through most of my own stories, I realize that if I heard it from someone else I'd be falling asleep and I end up pissing myself off. But I found a girl who listens to my boring ass stories and genuinely likes talking to me. There is someone out there that'll love your idiosyncrasies.
Wingardium Leviosa.
If I choose to be with someone, who I voluntarily selected to be with, I accept them exactly as they are. I've never asked anyone to change for me, and I've never harbored expectations other than they continue being who they are. I don't look for things to have a problem with. My record on this is solid. The problem? I need that same acceptance reciprocated. This has proven to be a huge ask.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I am too comfortable being single that I find it hard to force myself to compromise.
Wingardium Leviosa.
To my credit, I still put myself out there to date. But I always fall into the same trap. It gets to the point where I have to cancel or defer something, or put up with disagreements/arguments, and I inevitably fall back to this isn't worth it and just break up. Right or wrong, I feel they don't have enough leverage over me and the idea that I can just do whatever I want otherwise. Instead, I have a FWB. That seems to work.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I can be a little controlling. In the sense that I want things to be done the way I want, when I want and how I want it. I don't control the person per se, but I have trouble letting go of control. If I ask you to do something, and you take long in my terms, I will do it myself. Also, I want people to treat me the way I treat them, or I want them to react how I'd react. If I hurt you in some way, and I say sorry, I want you to forgive me immediately because in my mind, that's what I would have done, so I get annoyed with you because what is there to think about? I said sorry. Or I think you don't care about me or my feelings if we have a disagreement and I want to talk it out now, but you need a minute to cool down. These are all things that I'm aware of. My best friend called me out on it and I try to now see other POV too, instead of just my own.
Wingardium Leviosa.
PTSD from a previous relationship means I need really consistent communication and actions, or I get really triggered and have horrendous flashbacks. I also struggle to identify my emotions and need to be alone to do so. Guess I had to hide them from myself before, or they were used to hurt me.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I enjoy my time alone very much.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I'm currently on the first leg of a solo trip, meeting a friend tomorrow for a long weekend while my spouse is doing whatever it is he's doing this weekend. I told him I arrived safely, but beyond that we won't talk. I think it's healthy to have my friendships and outings and alone time, and I don't think it would have worked if he wasn't that way as well. Not all the time, we love spending time together, but couples who are together 24/7 or always calling and in contact are so confusing to me. That looks stifling AF.
Wingardium Leviosa.
When I have a bad day, I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to be helped either. I just want to exist in silence for a while.
Wingardium Leviosa.
My GF just shares with me her frustrations and I just listen now. I used to try to help her fix things cause I hated seeing her miserable. Now I just let her vent and then I just hug her and we sit there or lay down for a bit until she's better, or I offer her a snack.
Wingardium Leviosa.
And if your people is not into asking for help, actually asking yourself if they want just to vent or want advice is a lifesaver sometimes.
Wingardium Leviosa.
That is, until you say, wow, that's crazy man, that really sucks, he's/that's unbelievable every time they vent, and then they think you aren't really listening. What do you do then? Sometimes listening to people vent about the same thing without wanting advice or just not taking it drives me absolutely nuts. It completely drains my energy at times.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I flirt subconsciously with a lot of people.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I have been told that I flirt with people all the time. I don't see it. I don't think complimenting someone when they look nice is flirting. I don't think letting someone know that they are cared for and appreciated is flirting. I don't think a hug is flirting. I grew up in an environment where those things were never seen or said, and I go out of my way to make people know that I care about and appreciate them. I give people compliments. I give hugs. I know what it's like to be starved for any kind of affection, and I show affection to others. I don't think it's flirting at all. Apparently I'm one of the few that think that way.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Being okay with not going out every fucking night.
Wingardium Leviosa.
At certain time in life you just like to spend most time at home relaxing. Dinners and drinks on a weekday can be draining, especially when it's a work day next day. I don't think I can be with someone who have a full active social life. Really can't cope. My downtime is important.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I love this. Truly, I do believe relationships are give and take. You find someone who fits your puzzle piece in ways other people can't. Whether it's you learning to be less clingy for them, or them learning to be more accepting of it, finding the beauty in it, or someone who matches your energy, and loves it or is the same way. I don't think clinginess is necessarily a bad thing, it's just sometimes a very passionate way to love, and there are some people who enjoy that and some people who don't, but neither are wrong, I think. Smile.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I am probably neurodivergent, cannot regulate emotions very well. Update: I do attract men but end up f-ending it up because I come across as a weirdo. Or I do end things because I suddenly do not like them anymore. Embarrassed smiley face.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I am autistic. When I was diagnosed, it was Asperger's, and girls have never cared. Growing up I was so sure they would, but I'm 33 now and not a single girl has cared at all.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Are you fit, attractive and well employed?
Wingardium Leviosa.
Always been fit, have been working since I was 14, though I've been unemployed twice, one time for 10 months, another time for like 6 months. I make good money now, but until I was 23 I made minimum wage. As far as attractiveness, above average, but not a model or anything. Both times I was unemployed I had a girlfriend throughout the entire time.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I'm reasonably afraid of opening up to people romantically because I don't want to be judged or forced to change myself for them. I don't think I have any red flag behaviors, but I'm just very set in my ways. I'm a late diagnosed autistic woman, and so the idea of changing to please someone this late in life only to wind up hurt freaks me out a little. If you read this, thank you. I've been too scared to verbalize this, but typing is just as good, I suppose.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I'm asexual and am never going to want to have sex.
Wingardium Leviosa.
I have a question that I don't want to sound bad, but it's probably going to sound bad. I apologize profusely in advance if this is a really bad question. I am asking out of pure curiosity with no malice intended, I just want to learn more about it. Do asexual people care about the gender/sex of their partners? I mean, you have a type that you like that probably falls under a gender stereotype, right? Let's say you meet a person that falls under your type, as an example, skinny, long brown hair, small build, nerdy looking. Would it matter if it was guy or girl? I guess it comes down to, if you're not worried about sex, then do sex organs matter?
Wingardium Leviosa.
Sexual intercourse isn't the same exact thing as attraction and chemistry. People's sexual preferences can extend to romantic connections as well as secondary sexual characteristics aside from sex organs. Asexual people aren't all the same, so there's a wide spectrum of what they're interested in.
Hey guys, this is the Rogue YouTuber here. I recently had a big change in my life. I had a baby daughter. Here she is. If you could do me a favor and remember to hit the subscribe button and bang the bell, I'm hoping to really create a YouTube channel that really gets people excited and brings people the best, most interesting content collated from across the internet. I'm saving up to save my little girl to Carnegie Mellon Computer Science Department. So please remember to like and subscribe. See you next time.